This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. This is Greg Giardino, and I have some very exciting news to share with you. I am coming back to New Jersey, and I will be joining Atlas Fiduciary Financial here in Oakland, New Jersey. And the team and I, we thought it'd be really cool if we could give you an opportunity to speak with and maybe learn a little bit about the owners of the firm, Laura Mattia and Steve Craffen. But before we get into that and talk about their experience and their education, and of course, I think it's really important that you have an idea of the quality and the character of the people that I work with, that I reviewed with you some of the criteria that I personally put together before I joined a firm. So those three things are, in no particular order, the first being the firm has to have a fiduciary focus, an unwavering commitment to the client and putting them first. The second, they have to have very high technical expertise. As you all know, I take education very seriously, and it's really important to have a really sound education and to know what you're talking about when it comes to financial planning. And then lastly, have a firm that takes technology very seriously and that they have a way of incorporating technology into their everyday processes so that they can produce better results for you. So as you'll see in this conversation today, they fit all three criteria, but I'll let them explain it a little bit better. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to Laura Mattia, the owner of Atlas Fiduciary Financial. And Laura, if you can, we'd love to get to know you a little bit better. If you can maybe give us a brief overview of Atlas, maybe share your education, your experience, I think that would be really helpful.
Absolutely. Well, so firstly, of course, yes, I am one of the owners. Both Steve and I own this firm, and we've known each other for about 20 years or so and have worked together in different capacities. But both of us come from a place where we believe that the only way to work with clients is in the business model that we've created. We both have a lot of experience in finance. We really are finance people primarily. I started out, I had an MBA in finance, and I worked in the corporate world. I worked as the global controller for M&M Mars, and then wound up getting a few other opportunities to work as a CFO, finally to work as a CFO for a family office in Manhattan for a very well-known individual in New York City, and got to experience the opportunity of providing financial advice on a personal level than as opposed to providing financial advice to a corporation for a business. And I really enjoyed that because I saw how good, solid financial advice can really make a difference in somebody's life. And so I got a CFP back in 2020 or so, I think it was. And I've been working in personal finance ever since. I'm also a professor. Since then, I've gotten my CFP, I've gotten the PhD in personal finance from Texas Tech, which is really wedded in household economics and investments. And I've been a professor. I've taught at Rutgers. I created their first program in for a capstone type of class in personal finance. How do you really deliver good financial advice to your clients? And how do you create the overall financial planning documents? And I taught corporate finance there as well. And then recently started a program down here at USF in Florida, at USF, University of South Florida in Tampa, where also students were trained to get a degree in personal finance. And then I made sure that it was registered with the CFP board so that they could become CFPs, because I truly believe that there are a lot of people in this industry that say they want to be fiduciaries, that they want to do the right thing for people, that they want to be good financial planners, and they don't even know what they don't know. And that's a big problem. They truly think they're doing the right thing, and they just aren't. So by requiring people to have at least a degree in finance, and then to sit for the CFP exam and to go through that process is, in my mind, very big. But both Steve and I have been very active in the financial planning arena. We would love to change the industry. We've done our part in trying to change the industry for the better.
No, thank you for sharing that. And as you know, a lot of my clientele are successful professors, namely here within New Jersey, and having a evidence or empirical data approach to things is very important. That's backed by science, backed by data. And also, one thing you touched on with regard to doing the right thing, it can be very confusing out there. And for those people that may come to your firm, what are some of the ways in which you may differentiate yourself? Because we all hear this word fiduciary and it seems like everybody is doing it, but what do you think would separate your firm from most other firms?
Right. So the three things that our firm has that I don't believe, I think that there might be, you can count them on one hand in terms of the entire country that we have. Firstly, we operate as true fee-only fiduciaries 100% of the time, not some of the time, but all the time. And we're actually registered with a group called the NAPFA organization. And I do recommend that your clients go to napfa.org to learn about that organization, because Steve was the chairman of that organization for a period of time. I've been on various study group leadership roles, and it really is an organization that is trying to adhere to a very, very strict standard. We're required to sign a fiduciary oath, and we sign an oath for every single one of our clients. And Greg, you're going to sign a fiduciary oath, if you haven't already, for your clients, that they know that under our umbrella, you will always work as a fiduciary. But you know, there's a lot of people that talk about this word fiduciary, and it gets a little squishy. The way people define it. To me, you can say you're a fiduciary, but if you don't have the human capital to actually operate as a fiduciary, that's a problem. And so that's why we require everybody here to have a minimum a CFP, and hopefully additional designations and educational experiences to add to that. And the other side of that, so knowing the strategies and the products and the options that the client have is really important. And the other side of that is knowing the client. So when somebody like Ken Fisher says we're fiduciaries, well, number one, I don't know what their educational level is. And number two, I know they don't do comprehensive planning. And if you don't do comprehensive planning and you haven't sat down with your clients one-on-one and really understood what's going on in their life, what are they concerned about, what do they need, what are they trying to achieve? If you don't understand your client, you can't give them the best advice. You can't really operate as fiduciary. And so that working as a fee-only fiduciary financial planner, having the level of education and knowledge that we have, number two, and number three, the comprehensive financial planning, all those three things, you can't get that from many firms in this country.
No. And by the way, providing comprehensive financial planning is one of the requirements to be a member of NAPFA. And additionally, NAPFA also has the highest continuing education requirement in the profession, 60 credit hours every 2 years. And of course, being a member means besides being a fiduciary, we're not allowed to accept payments from any third party. So even if we refer you to an outside expert, like in a CPA, if they want to compensate us by giving us a referral fee, we cannot accept it. And we won't anyway, because that's a huge conflict. We won't accept that.
No trips to Hawaii.
No,
no.
Not yet. No, never. Yep.
And that's really important point you touched on, Steve, that being a fiduciary and being fee only, you do not accept any commissions, any third party kickbacks, so that you know the client is just paying you and only you. So I think that's a great point. And while we're on you, Steve, thank you so much, Laura, for sharing some insight here on your background. I think it was really helpful to our listeners here. But Steve, I know you can't be shy over there. We're going to pick on you now. And if you could share some of your experience with us, that'd be great.
Sure. Well, I started out in a different way. I'm a career changer. I was actually trained as an electrical engineer. I went to Stevens, Hoboken. I actually did graduate work in engineering and physics, believe it or not, as well. But I went on and got a master's in master's in finance around 1983. Shows you how old I am. I have a master's in financial planning. I'm a CFP, chartered financial consultant, a chartered life underwriter, and a chartered financial analyst, a certified financial analyst, chartered financial analyst, CFA. And then CFA is a designation that people get typically if they're going to be running a mutual fund. So because of my strong background in investments, I'm really the chief investment officer for the firm. And I want to mention, as the CIO, chief investment officer for the firm, we have several goals for our clients' portfolios. One is to minimize risk for a given level of return. We use the best mathematics and science available to do that. We have very sophisticated software to help create portfolios that minimize risk for a given level of return. We also try to keep costs as low as possible for our clients. And that's part of being a fiduciary, by the way. We really got to treat you as family members, quite honestly. I have to treat you as if I treat my mom. That's what it means being a fiduciary, quite honestly. We keep costs low. Additionally, we also try to make our clients' portfolios as tax efficient as possible. So those are three main goals. But the other goal is we want to make sure that the way you're invested really matches your risk tolerance, but additionally, something we call risk capacity. In other words, how much risk you can afford to take. And we really establish that through this detailed financial planning process. And our financial planning process, as Laura mentioned, is very extensive and very detailed. And it's really the product of a team. We work as a team here, just to let you know.
No, that's also very important. And the clientele that I work with, once again, they have high net worth, and managing risk is really important. They're very conservative folks that I work with. So it's also good to know that your philosophy is aligned with my practice as well. And one question, I'll put you on the hot spot here, Steve, is with regards to technology, can you maybe share some of the tools that you utilize with your current clients, make their lives easier and better, and save them some time?
Sure. Well, there's two layers. There's one that we use internally, of course, to try to do the best job that we can do in creating portfolios and also selecting investments. But there's also the tools that we use to help clients from their end. And I would say first, our reporting software is probably is top of the line. And we can compare your investments to any benchmark. We can let you know how you're doing in comparison to different benchmarks in the investment area. We can also very efficiently rebalance your portfolio. And rebalancing is really an important thing to do when your portfolio starts to different asset classes move at different or grow at different rates. We want to make sure we rebalance you back to the model. We can do that quite efficiently. But the other one is, I mentioned tax efficiency. We have a very important ability to decide what investment should be in what type of account so that your portfolio is as tax efficient as possible. Okay, we also have access, which I know you do too, to a portal that enables you to monitor your investments on your own. But of course, our reporting is much more detailed than that.
No, that's really good. And any technology the firm utilizes that can definitely improve the tax efficiency. They have all types of data on that. It can add up to a half point or more in return to someone's portfolio is really a big value add. So,
and we also look at things like, should you be doing a Roth conversion, for example? We will test for things like that. That's something outside of course, the investment area, but it's part of tax planning. We'll always do that. This year, we're really conscious about, where possible, trying to make shelter clients future capital gains by taking losses where appropriate as well. And it makes sense in some cases. We're doing that where we think it makes sense. And there's other strategies as well we look at. For example, if you're in a zero capital gains rate, it may make sense to actually take capital gains, believe it or not. And we actually, Laura and I did a whole video on that topic. So there's a lot of areas that we look at to try to make I would say your portfolio grow better, but also in a much more efficient fashion.
that's great clarity and insight. And Laura, anything else you'd like to add that maybe Steve might have said?
Well, I mean, I certainly we could go on with a lot. That's why we do even videos for our clients. There's a lot that goes behind the science of investing that people don't realize actually exists, but it does. And we are big believers in the science of investing, and it's been shown empirically to work, and it's also been shown from our experience over time to have worked. And while Steve and I bring a lot of education and experience and time in this field, we're really just so thrilled to have you, Greg, join us.
Yeah,
because
I was going to say that. Yep.
you're going to take this to the next level. You're going to be our continue on with what we've been trying to build here, and what our clients really have grown to love. And I think that you're just going to be a wonderful addition. So we're
And I want
really
to mention we're highly selective too. And Greg really fit all of the, I think the parameters we were looking for in someone. So same, I would say commitment to doing the right thing, commitment to education, you name it. We've seen that with Greg. And so we're really happy to have him as part of the team.
I appreciate you saying that. And I can't take all the credit. My parents raised me well. So thank you, Mom and Dad. But other than that, we really appreciate you just taking the time to share your experience, your thoughts around financial planning and wealth management. I think everyone on this call can definitely get a better feel of the quality of the firm and the expertise. And you can see why I chose Atlas to bring to you as a forever home. So with that being said, I hope this was some insight you gained here from just hearing the different owners. And I also want to say that I appreciate your continued trust and confidence in me, which I'll continue to strive for each and every day. And if you have questions, you can reach out to me. And of course, Laura and Steve are here. If you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to get you in contact with them. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Take care. Bye-bye.